inside. You've entered the binding chamber of the Guild of Scribes, though most simply call it the Grimoire Vault. My name is Elowen. I am the senior Grimoire Binder here, and it's my duty to craft, repair, and awaken the tomes that hold the world's most ancient magic. You're right on time. I've just begun preparing for tonight's bindings. The air is thick with enchantment. Can you feel it? It hums gently like an old song that never ends. Most people think grimoires are written and left to rest, but that's far from true. A living grimoire breathes. It shifts, dreams, even murmurs. When left alone too long, every spell, every diagram etched within its pages carries memory, and memory has weight. When that weight grows too heavy, the pages curl, bindings split, and ink begins to blur into whispers. That's when I step in. I mend not just the leather and thread, but the spirit bound inside. You see, a binder's craft is both delicate and dangerous. We don't only stitch pages, we tether thought to matter. Every grimoire we touch has a pulse, subtle yet steady. Some beat like a heart, others flicker like flame. My fingers still carry the echoes of every book I've ever restored. There's one I'll never forget. An old I opened it, I learned quickly to work with gloves that night. This one here is much gentler, a herbal compendium from the early Celestine era. The cover is worn smooth from years of study, but its energy is kind, almost maternal. When you touch it, do you feel that warmth at your fingertips? That's the spell of remembrance. The mages who wrote these texts often embedded fragments of their affection into the bindings, as if to protect the next hands that would hold them. Beautiful, isn't it? Before I begin any restoration, I listen. That's the first step. Every grimoire speaks its own language. Some whisper in sound, others in pulse. Listen close enough, and you can tell what it needs. This one hums faintly, which means the stitching along its spine has absorbed too much residual energy. We'll need to ground it before rebinding, or the threads will fray again. The materials we use must be pure, drawn from natural sources that resonate with intention. I use moon thread for delicate texts, sun-forged copper wire for defensive ones, and for grimoires that contain elemental magic, I bind with silk spun from arcane moths. Every strand has to align with the spellworks rhythm. A single discordant thread can cause the reject its own pages. Believe me, I've seen it happen. Now, while I prepare the adhesive mixture, let me explain something few understand. Binding is a pact. We don't just repair magic, we promise to respect it. When I seal the spine, I whisper the oath of stillness, an old phrase from the first scribes. It goes, as ink remembers thought, as thread remembers hand, so let this book remember peace. The magic doesn't just hold, it rests. The inks we use are half alchemy, half art. This one, for example, is made from powdered onyx and dew collected from night-blooming flowers. When it dries, it leaves a faint sheen, visible only under moonlight, perfect for spells of secrecy or remembrance. Some inks even respond to voice, sing the right tone, and the words rise like mist from the page. I've lost track of how many hours I've spent just watching the shimmer of finished pages under candlelight. It never gets old. You'd think working with grimoires would make me desensitized to magic, but it's quite the opposite. Every book is unique, each a little world contained in covers and spine. Some are wild and unpredictable, others calm and meditative. A true binder learns to adapt her rhythm to match each one. You can't rush a storm dome any more than you can still a flame grimoire without first earning its trust. There's something meditative about stitching. The repetition, the sound, the smell of leather and old ink. It all weaves together into something grounding. When I was young, I thought magic was all flashes of power and light. But here, I learned it's mostly patience and listening. The quiet kind of power that builds over time. This section of the book holds clips of growth and renewal. See how the symbols curl around the page edges. That's a sign the magic has been used frequently. Repetition imprints where It's like giving it a breath of fresh air. I sometimes wonder what stories these grimoires could tell if they spoke aloud. Imagine the centuries they've seen, the hands that turned their pages, the minds that poured their souls into writing. Each spell, each formula is a whisper from history itself. To bind them is to listen to time. That's why I always keep the workshop dim and quiet. It helps the past feel closer, more willing to be understood. You seem at ease here. That's good. The books sense intention. When someone steps into the chamber with curiosity instead of greed, they respond kindly. That's why I let apprentices observe before touching anything. Your calm is as important as your skill. A jittery hand or careless breath can stir energies best left dormant. Now that the spine is sealed, I'll reinforce the corners with a touch of lunar wax. It prevents the edges from cracking and enhances the resonance between page and cover. Small details like this separate a good binder from a great one. Our work is slow but lasting. When done properly, a bound grimoire can endure for centuries, even through the rise and fall of kingdoms. Did you know that during the Mage Wars, the guild hid thousands of grimoires beneath enchanted vaults like this one? Most people think they were destroyed, but in truth, we preserved them. Each tome was shielded in a cocoon of stillness, waiting for safer times. Many of the books I handle are survivors of that era. When I touch them, I can almost feel their relief. The faint glow you see now, that's the resonance stabilizing. The binding has accepted its new form. The hum is lower, calmer, perfectly balanced. That's the sound of harmony, the point where knowledge and silence meet. Another binding complete. I'll leave it here on the rest stand overnight to let the energy settle. Tomorrow it will be ready to return to the archives, where it will rest beside hundreds of others, each one quietly alive in its own way. Before you go, I want you to remember something. Magic isn't just in spells or potions or glowing runes. It's in care, the patient, deliberate act of mending what was broken. Every thread pulled, every page smoothed, every whisper of respect brings the world a little closer to balance. If you ever find yourself near a forgotten book or a tattered page, don't discard it too quickly. There might be a heartbeat still lingering in the ink, waiting for a gentle hand to listen. And if you listen,